Good morning, Miss McGuire. Today we will be meeting over the lesson of kitchen safety and my observations conducted on October 22nd during your 7th grade FCS class. I have provided you a copy with my observation notes that we will go through and throughout the conference. If you have any questions or something doesn't make sense or you don't agree, just please simply let me know. After we go through the data, we will go through some strengths and areas of improvement. First off, what do you think went well throughout the lesson?
Oh gosh, well this is one of my favorite lessons to teach, as up to this point in their schooling they haven't gotten to cook. 7th grade is the first time they get to take my class, so they are so excited to get cooking. I thought for this large of a group of students the lesson went rather smoothly. As I went through the notes, I could see most were actively listening. I also thought I was prepared as I had what I needed to model close in proximity, I think.
I would agree with those, and you can definitely see that this class is eager to get to cooking. This is a rather large class, and you can tell that throughout their notes, they were actively listening. As we go through my notes, you will see that I noted that they were engaged as you were both verbally and modeling those instructions, which leads me into my observation data that you have a copy in front of you. You will simply see that I noted some NAs as they were not observed during the nature of this lesson. As we go through, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, that sounds great.
As you went through the lesson, you moved throughout the room, called on students that you thought weren't paying attention, pointed out where to find instructions on the board, which leads me into my next area of positive reinforcement. I really like that you put on the board who loses points and why. You have created a way that no one's name gets brought up on the board by simply putting the kitchen number. Great job.
Thank you.
I already mentioned earlier that you gave notes and instructions both verbally and through modeling. When you have students take notes, how do you follow accommodations for those students who need them?
I work closely with the special education department to know which students need modified notes, such as fill in the blank or filled out completely for them to follow along. After the lesson, I check with these students to make sure that they got the notes filled and out, or if they are missing something.
That's great. That helps those students really learn the lesson, which leads me into my next section of grouping. This particular lesson was a large group demonstration. However, you mentioned that you group students differently each lab. How do you group your students?
Each lab, they have different groups. I try to mix them up so they aren't always with the same students. I also try to put the leaders of the class in different groups, as well as students that need a little more guidance. This way students can help each other throughout the lesson.
I think that's awesome, especially because you have students helping students. Next, we are going to talk about the structure of your lesson. As you began, you explained the lesson of what they would be doing, and I also observed that it was written on the board. You explained why they were learning about kitchen safety, as it is important to learn before they begin cooking. As you went through your lesson, you modeled the do's and don'ts of being in the kitchen and checked for understanding by asking questions such as if they understood everything. As we move on to the next page, do you have any questions?
No, I think we're good.
All right, well, this was a whole group lesson, so you will see a few of these on this page left blank, as I did not observe them during the nature of the lesson. You used humor throughout the lesson to keep it positive and students engaged. You also reminded students that this was a science lesson, and I think that's great to help students see how our classes are connected. Now we are going to go through what I observed as strengths and your areas of improvement. These are just observations and suggestions. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, that sounds good.
First off, your strengths. You can tell you have a great relationship with this class as you use humor and keep them engaged as you go throughout your lesson. You are organized as you had all your materials near you and objectives written on the board. You explained thoroughly how to do each step and where to locate items on the board and in the classroom.
Thank you.
I only have a few suggestions or areas where I could see some improvement. Even though the students are actively engaged, I thought maybe integrating them into the lesson might be a good idea. For example, have them model how to use the pot holder. Another way is asking questions in their perspective, such as, Johnny, how do you use a pot holder at home? Another way is having them get out their notes and read sections as you model. Does that make sense?
Yes, I would agree. I focus so much on making sure the lesson gets done in a timely manner and need to work more on seeing it from the student's perspective.
And I think we all could do that sometimes. Next is the goals, which go along kind of with the areas of improvement. So integrating students more, and then the other is our school goal of writing objectives and standards on the board. You had your instructions, but putting these into them, such as putting the number of standard or writing out what students should know by the end of class. For example, students will be able to demonstrate proper kitchen safety steps. Overall, this lesson went rather smoothly, and I look forward to seeing the kids cook in your classroom.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I will work on putting the standards on the board with the instructions.
Any questions?
I don't believe so. Thank you for the suggestions, though.
Okay, great. All I need you to do is sign the notes right where I signed, and then I will make you a copy for your records.
Okay, thank you.